Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. So the real estate market, it's just on fire, and lots of us are having to make some important decisions right now. And I ran across a friend who's written a really interesting book, The Girlfriend's Fabulous Guide to Real Estate. Christine Denty, who is interesting, she's a real estate agent and a broker. Before that, she was a financial advisor. She knows a lot about investing, has written this book, and she's written it from a female standpoint to females on how to buy real estate, how to sell real estate, and a lot of the things to look for. And it's interesting, in her book at the back end, she goes through a lot of maintenance issues, and she sort of trains you on some of the typical things that females may not know a lot about, and typically guys would have done, on how to check out during your inspections or how to repair before you get the book. And so, Christine, thank you for a copy of the book that you gave me a little while ago. I've enjoyed flipping through it, and I've learned a lot. Why did you write this book?
Well, I just found that a woman-centric guide, it's not very common in the marketplace, especially when it comes to investing, also when it comes to real estate. So I pretty much figured, you know what, why not? Because I find a lot of it is geared towards get rich quick, the top 5 this, top 3 that, top 10, and it's like, so it's like adrenaline based, whereas I find as a woman, and I found with my clients, my female clients, especially when I was a stockbroker and I was doing investments and whatnot for my clients, that the women were more the buy and hold, planning a little bit more, whereas the men were more day trading and taking
impulsive?
Higher risk. Yeah, and so I find with real estate, especially in particular with real estate investing, there's a lot of push to buy, whereas maybe that's not the best choice. Maybe you have to really sort of weather that decision. Maybe you're more in a position where you want to sell stuff versus buying. So I just find with this guide, it's a little bit more around the planning of it and making your very sound decisions versus these high risks.
So why is it different for a female than it is for male? You say it's a women-centric, it's a girlfriend's fabulous guide, so it's a female telling other females how to buy and sell. Why is that different than what any guy would want to know?
Because I find as a woman, we sort of want to get the information now. We're not, it's the no frills real estate guide. So when it comes to buying, owning, and selling a home, this book has everything that you need. So I didn't, split this up in different pieces. And as women, we sort of want to have everything that we need at our fingertips. So this book is comprised of all the different areas that I was able to see that with the questions that we have, do-it-yourself staging, what do I need to be prepared for budget-wise when I'm looking to buy a home? What's it like to go through the financing process? I don't want to get my information from all these different areas. I want it all in one place, and I just find as a woman...
So it's like a how-to manual.
Yeah, and everything's in one place, and it's not trying to push, I'm not trying to market something or sell something within the literature. It's literally a guide to help you navigate the storm of real estate right now.
So, the storm of real estate, or real estate's on fire. What advice do you have in not overpaying and not making these bad decisions that so many people appear to be making, and bidding wars?
With every neighborhood, there's different markets in the different markets, but what you need to do is also know the value of the home that you're looking to purchase. So it's not just, offer X amount over asking. You really can hone in on a particular value in the market, especially since this hot market, it's gone on for kind of long enough that we can actually predict what a house might sell for right now. So doing the research in advance of making an offer is quite important, but also making sure that you're prepared in making an offer. That's really important in the way of financing. Make sure you budget properly, because just in moving, even in a lower priced home, 30 grand you better have in the bank outside of your deposit in order to move, close, lawyer's fees, and everything else. So it's important to be prepared so that when you do move forward with it, you're not asking grandma for a loan, or your buddy, or because a lot of people just aren't prepared financially.
So that's interesting. So you say you got to have 30 30 grand of
At
money
least
just
have 30 grand.
to sort of walk around and close the thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So this is interesting. You said that you can figure out the value. There's been a lot of talk of late that people, brokers, agents, are underpricing the suggested listing price. So they create a bidding war, and people are bidding in a blind bidding process, outrageous amounts over asking. That's sort of leading to this bubble. But yet you say you can figure out the value. So, like, how to connect those two dots for me, if you could?
I mean, in a way, like I said, all the agents pretty much were underpricing the homes. That's standard now. And if you're not, then your house might sit on the market for a while. What we're looking for is solid offers, inspection-free. People are waiving financing. But in saying that, you are able to do, like as a realtor, we can pull up the history on the home sales in that area and get a pretty good idea as far as what those houses have sold for, but also the inventory on the market matters too. So if in one particular week a lot of homes have hit the market, there's a lot of offers and whatnot, the following week there's less inventory, we might find that the prices might be driven up a little bit during that time because there's less houses to bid on.
Yeah.
So people are throwing a little bit more in hopes that down the road the value is just going to go up as it has been doing for the past
So you're saying that you might have to waive the financing condition and the inspection condition. I had a lawyer on a previous show who said never waive the financing condition or the inspection condition.
And
Which
you'll
is
never
it?
own a house.
You'll
Not in
never-
this market. No.
Really?
No. You have to have, honestly, you have to have bulletproof financing, absolutely. But this is where you also have to have some funds also on the sideline in case your appraisal doesn't come up. The bank doesn't think the house is worth what you paid for it. So again, it's about being prepared and having a backup plan, having extra resources, extra finances. Just because you get qualified for $1 million doesn't mean you have to spend $1 million. So try to maybe downgrade your expectations a little bit. Don't go like at the top of the number every time because you may need to have a little bit of residual.
But interest rates are at a historic, ultimate,
Yeah.
generational, 50-year low.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't now the best time in history to get that biggest house you ever wanted?
Well, absolutely in one respect, but everything is a risk. So if you're going to buy at the top of your pricing, you are taking on quite a bit of risk as well. I just find, in my opinion, in the golden horseshoe, we are all used to overpaying for homes. When it comes to multiple offers for years and years now, we've all been offering more than ask and being completely okay with it. So we've kind of set up this market ourselves. We've all kind of done it. We've all accepted it. It continues to happen. But again, like I said, just because you get qualified for $1 million doesn't mean you have to spend it. When it comes to financing, make sure that you're not also way overpaying for a home beyond what your realtor has set the expectation for you. And if you are, and hopefully you have the money, that's great. You've now applied an emotional price tag for getting that particular home. So you're not necessarily going to get a deal, but you are going to get the home that you fell in love with. But again, when you're dealing with 30 other offers and they're waiving financing, I mean, you just have to be really secure.
30 offers.
I mean, that's the market right now. We're looking at minimum 6 to 7, just depending on the home and the pricing of the home. But that's what the realtors
Crazy.
are looking for.
So let's talk about the offers, because there's been a lot of controversy of late about this blind bidding process. You used to be a financial advisor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you buy a stock, you can get minute by minute information on the price of
Yeah.
that stock. You know the last bid, both an ask and a sale. And you know, if you don't sign up for the right stock service, you're getting the stock information 20 minutes late, and that's a huge amount of lack of transparency. And then you've read books about people that are getting, half a second information earlier and are being able to beat the market. So transparency in pricing ends up being really critical. And all of us, go to Consumer Reports or other things on pricing everything else. Why is it that real estate is the only market where you don't have transparent information on the bidding price?
Well, that's the $1 million question. And there has been a lot of talk about opening that up. But in the end, we're talking about privacy with the seller and in what the offers are coming in. It basically, it's a high risk market. And when it comes to privacy, I mean, if people were aware, then I would think that people would outbid each other, probably to a point that the housing market might be even worse than what it is now. So again, to that point, I don't disagree that at some point they should open it up, but at this point it's not there. And like I said, it's a risk that you have to take, and it's really up to the seller. The sellers don't want that communication happening because they, again, you might be able to get another $30K above someone else because they don't know what the last offer was. Yeah.
We're chatting tonight with Christine Denty, and she's a real estate agent and a broker, and she's written a book called The Girlfriend's Fabulous Guide to Real Estate, to be a women-centric guide to buying and selling a home. Stay with us. We're going to have a couple of messages and come back more with Christine in just a minute.
This past year, we've learned what really matters in our lives. And what government does or doesn't do also matters. We've seen bad choices with devastating consequences. Imagine instead a premier that chooses you, who protects workers, who stands up for local businesses, not big box stores, who instead of cutting, invests in healthcare and our kids. That's what matters to me.
बैंक ऑफ पंजाब लाया पाकिस्तान का पहला मुकम्मल फ्री रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट, जिससे आपको मिले मोबाइल ऐप, दुनिया भर में डेबिट कार्ड की फ्री डिलीवरी और बिना चार्जेस के इस्तेमाल की सहूलत, नया पाकिस्तान सर्टिफिकेट, स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्टमेंट का मौका, ऑटो लोन और ऑनलाइन यूटिलिटी बिल्स जैसी बेशुमार सहूलियात। अभी www.bop.com.bk पर ऑनलाइन रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट फॉर्म फिल कीजिए और पाइए एक्सीलेंस यूनिट के जरिए 24 घंटे डेडिकेटेड सर्विसेज। बैंक ऑफ पंजाब, रखे हर फर्द का ख्याल।
ओंटारियो का कोविड-19 प्लान फैलाव को रोकने और जिंदगियां बचाने में मदद फराहम कर रहा है। जब तक हम सबको वैक्सीन नहीं लग जाती, मास्क पहने, अपने हाथ धोएं और फासला रखें। हम अब तक इकट्ठे चलते रहे हैं और पूरे ओंटारियो में रोजाना हजारों लोग वैक्सीन लगवा रहे हैं। आपकी बारी जल्द आने वाली है। ओंटारियो के वैक्सीन प्लान के बारे में मजीद जानें। अदायगी शुदा मिन जानिब हुकूमत ओंटारियो।
Century 21 Kingdom Realty. We take delight in helping people succeed whether they are our clients or agents. Worldwide recognized brand, game-changing technology, state-of-the-art marketing, industry-leading training, stunning office, great location, great commission splits, first access to pre-construction projects.
If you want to be even more successful in your real estate area, join the Century 21 Kingdom Realty.
To join our team, call 416-560-9559 or visit our website www.jointhekingdom.ca. Century 21 Kingdom Realty, 1099 Kingston Road, Pickering, Unit Number 2, Ontario.
Buying or selling a residential or commercial property is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make in their life. The real estate lawyers at Alum Law Chambers will guide you through the complete real estate laws to ensure your transaction completes on time and your dreams come true. Reliable and affordable. Alum Law.
Was your family or business prepared for this financial crisis? Want to learn how I prepare my clients with the essential financial planning pyramid for any financial crisis come their way? Hello, this is Zahid Sayed from Roach Financial. For your complimentary Zoom or Skype meeting, call my office at 905-624-0008 or visit aroojfinancial.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on the Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. We're chatting tonight with Christine Denty, who is a real estate agent and broker. She used to be a financial advisor. She knows a lot about buying and selling investments. And she's written a book called The Girlfriend's Fabulous Guide to Real Estate, which is a fascinating read. And I got to tell you, because I read the back of the book before, and some of the what do you call them on the back of the book? Like they're acknowledgements. Thank you. Felt like a hug leaping off the page. Full of great tips and seriously useful information. Christine does a great job of breaking it all. So, you know, this girlfriend's guide, you really brought a chatty, almost like a girlfriend at a coffee shop kind of way to writing about real estate.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Sex and the City guide. Very frank, very open.
The Sex and the City guide.
Yeah, like the Carrie Bradshaw.
The way that she would chat with Samantha over whatever.
Yeah, oh, very good with the names there, Brian.
I've watched Sex and the City a few times. Now, I was really interested at the back. You've got all these pages of things to look out for in an inspection.
Yeah, so that's the appendix. I put the inspection back there. But a lot of people have not gone through a home inspection before, so it just goes to show a lot of the things that are...
You talk about like fog and condensation.
Yeah. It's not a lot of things that we encounter in our own homes.
But you need to look out for when you're buying.
Absolutely. Myself as a realtor, I see it. My inspector, his name is Turbo. He's a great guy. Turbo. So what that's what I call him. So what he does is we've been doing inspections for years together, and he will take that little extra time to teach me why something is the way it is, and as well with my buyers, and he'll give them tips on maintaining the home. And he actually helped me to write the home maintenance tips in that book as well. But you know, you don't encounter everything all the time, especially in your own home. So this kind of broadens that scope for the buyer to say, okay, these are, you know, all the different areas that are checked. And especially being a single woman myself, buying a home most of the time as a single woman, these things can be very intimidating. So this just gives you a bit of a glimpse at some of the things to look out for when you are looking to buy.
You had some other interesting sections that I noticed. You had a whole section on power of sales. What's a power of sale?
So what a power of sale is when the seller is unable to meet their mortgage payments, and the bank ends up having to sell the home. They use a realtor, and they sell the home for a certain price, also cover the legal fees and whatnot, in order to try to make up that for the mortgage. You know what, you get what you pay for, because I have a lot of people asking me, get me a power of sale, but it's not like we have like a site that says power of sale, go here. You get what you pay for. Usually when you go into a home that is a power of sale, a lot of the appliances have been sold off out of the home as well, so you don't have a stove, there's no fridge. It's basically the bare bones of a home so that the funds could be recovered in order to pay back the mortgage and any property taxes.
Aren't they in more of a rush, usually?
Not all the time. Some of the right now, if a seller is unable to meet their mortgage payments, if they just throw a sign on the line, the place is sold. But power of sales were more common in the past, when it could take a little bit longer to sell the home. So at that point, again, you know, you're going into a home that might not really meet all the criteria of like buying a solid home, because the homeowners might not have disclosed the mold in the attic, or that the plumbing is crap, or, you know, it's basically buyer beware, buy it the way it is. There's no warranties that are given, because they don't really know the history of the home. They're not able to get that information most of the time.
You also have a section on estate sales. Tell me about that.
Estate sales, so what happens is, typically, after a will has been probated, I actually have a sale right now, we're waiting for that. If the clients want to partake in the hot market, they can do that, and the funds would go in trust. But what it is when someone has passed away and the house goes on the market, it's also another scenario where it's buyer beware, sold as is, because again, the person who lived in the home and may have done the updates they're not really there to speak on when the roof was last done, how old the furnace is. A lot of the times the estate trustees, they don't know when all these things have been done. So a lot of times it is buyer beware again, but because of that, you can get, a lot of times you can get these for a good price because there's no warranties again. So when it comes to that, I mean, you could end up buying the place and having to redo the roof or buy a new furnace right out of the gate. So
I had a realtor come in and say that I should put it on an exclusive, and then I had another realtor say, don't do that because you're going to lose money. What's an exclusive?
Okay, so an exclusive is basically when it does not go on MLS. So the listing agent is the one that would be entertaining any of the buyers that come through. There's a plus and a minus. Typically, when you see a coming soon sign, really that's an exclusive with a little costume on that says coming soon. So when I have a client do a coming soon, we are fully prepared to show that home. So if there are buyers out there that they're just done with the market. I mean, they've turned up empty right and left. If they see a coming soon sign, they're calling their agent saying, get us on that house. So typically, we're open to entertain offers. So I just recently had some buyers that I told them, I said, when you see it coming soon, you tell me right away, and we got that house.
So is there a benefit then to doing the coming soon and not having to pay some MLS fees?
Yeah, they say...
What percentage of houses are sold on MLS though? It's got to be most.
Yeah, definitely most.
Like
Definitely
90-something percent?
More than that.
More than 90%, like
Yeah.
97%.
Yeah, at least, yeah. Because with MLS as well, you're having buyers most of them are on a drip, where as soon as the houses are listed, they receive notifications that that house is on the market. So when I get a buyer and I start showing them houses, for about the first 2 weeks, I tell them we're going to turn up empty because all the buyers right now that are bidding on the same house that you want to bid on, the first one, they're 2 weeks behind you. Look, like they're aggressive and they're like, there's no BS. They're making those offers. They're aggressive. So it takes my buyers sometimes a little warm up in order to get them at that place, right? So when it comes to with the coming soon sign, back to that, the aggressive buyers, the ones that are done with the market, they're buying them up even before they hit the market.
If more than 90, maybe 97% of homes are sold on MLS, should I do a private sale?
You're asking a realtor, so my first answer is going to be no. Because again, when you're engaging in a realtor, you're engaging in that sort of fiduciary duty that the realtors have for their clients, for their buyers and sellers. So you are going to get a much cleaner sale. I mean, this is what we do. We live and breathe this. And when it comes to different policies that come down the pipeline, we're aware of all of that. So when it comes to private selling, there's a lot of things that just people aren't aware of. And trust me when I say this, you're leaving money on the table by not hiring a realtor, because the realtor is going to get the message out there. They have other realtors they talk to.
But they're going to charge you, what, 5%, 6%?
It's usually give or take around 5%. With my clients, I always tell them, you know what, I'll earn my commission back, don't worry. So, versus not using the right realtor for the job or not using a realtor at all.
Okay, so, I got to tell you, I know a ton of realtors. Mm-hmm. And they all send me, like I probably get 3 or 4 brochures in the mailbox every day. They all send me calendars at Christmas and get invited to a party or two. How do you pick a realtor? How do you pick a realtor? Do you just pick your uncle or the nice person down the street? How do you pick a realtor?
I would say it depends on the job that you're looking to have done.
It's got to be one of the most expensive consulting engagements that you enter into in your whole life.
Yep.
You're paying, 5% of a purchase of a huge amount of money to somebody.
Yep.
And yet there's so many of them. How do you pick the right one?
Number one, I would say choose someone who has committed their full-time career as a realtor. It's not a part-time side hustle or side gig, because every day I'm on top of the market. I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm listening to my peers, and so I'm sort of kept really abreast of the pulse of the real estate as it is during that moment in time. So if you're picking someone that's maybe an uncle and semi-retired, and they're not really on top of things, they're probably not going to have you as prepared as you should be for a home sale or as a buyer. The other thing too is someone that you trust, someone who's honest with you, that will tell you, you know what, like, your home, we need to stage, sorry, but it's not going to cut it, right? Or if you're making an offer on a home, just say, you know what, you got to pony up. You're not going to get that house if you're not going to spend more money. So someone that's, you know, that's honest with you, and you know, that shows you, whether it be through social media or your community of people, that they're actively working as a realtor.
What do you think is going to happen in the real estate market?
I think we
Is it
are.
going to keep going up, or is it going to burst?
Well, I think we're going to see a cool down, as we always do from middle to end of summer. We do see a cool down, but I think in the fall it's going to pick up again, and especially with COVID, if the guidelines start to loosen up a bit and people start to go out again, I think we are going to see the market start to pipe up again. And especially, I mean, we're just going to have more and more buyers hitting the market, especially once immigration opens up as well. We're going to have more buyers as well. So as case in point, you were saying earlier with a guest saying, you know, there's not enough housing, and that is correct. So long as there's a demand that we can't feed, the market is going to be strong.
If people want to buy your book, how do they get it?
They can get it on Amazon. It's also should be my first book is probably still showing on Chapters, but this one will be showing on there very soon. Right now it's on Amazon, it's on Google Books, and Kindle as well. Pretty much all the online book outlets.
Christine Denty, the girlfriend's fabulous guide to real estate. You got to check it out if you're buying or selling real estate. And it is probably the most important decision that anyone makes in their lifetime from an investment standpoint. And so it's important to get the how-to book in a readable form, and Christine's done a great job of writing that. I think that the market is potentially going to go down, and maybe we have a bubble that's going to burst. And so I think that you've got to be more careful today than you've ever been before. And yet at the same time, I'm wrong, because people are bidding outrageous prices to get their homes, and we're having 20 and 30 bids, and people bidding hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. So don't listen to me, listen to Christine instead. That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome to I Will Get You Mortgage Service Limited. It's your company, it's our company for all your mortgage needs. We have many lenders we work with to give you solutions for all your difficult mortgages, whether it's a purchase, refinance, investment property, urgent funds for closing, we have solutions. My name is Nasser, 416-689-2696, or visit our website at www.iwillgetyourmortgage.com.
बैंक ऑफ पंजाब लाया पाकिस्तान का पहला मुकम्मल फ्री रोशन डिजिटल अकाउंट, जिससे आपको मिले मोबाइल ऐप, दुनिया भर में डेबिट कार्ड की फ्री डिलीवरी और बिना चार्जेस के इस्तेमाल की सहूलत। बैंक ऑफ पंजाब, रखे हर फर्द का ख्याल।
Hakka House, an authentic halal Chinese and Thai cuisine in Milton. मजेदार खानों का मरकज, कम्युनिटी का पसंदीदा halal Chinese restaurant. Dine in, take out, डिलीवरी एंड कैटरिंग। फैमिली के साथ आइए, हम आपकी खिदमत के लिए तैयार हैं। 395 मेन स्ट्रीट ईस्ट, मिल्टन। फोन नंबर 905-878-7800 और विजिट आवर वेबसाइट hakkahousemilton.ca.
Your kid's life is already in motion, but